Ayo, Nazztravagant, it's time to give him the game.
Ooh, wee! Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is. Don't act like y'all don't know the name. It's Nazztravagant, and I'm about to give y'all the game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Still continuing, giving them the game. We still moving, we still mobbing. I appreciate everybody tapping in, all the DMs, all the comments, all the people I talk to on a day-to-day basis, giving me, their insight on giving them the game. I appreciate all y'all. But we're continuing. Next episode, producer versus beat maker. One of my favorites. Producer versus beat maker. How do we start this? Because there's a lot to discuss on this particular concept and topic. Seriously, producer versus beat maker. What do y'all think when y'all hear producer versus beat maker? What is it? What do you ask yourself? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean to you? I'll tell you what it means to me. Producer versus beat maker. We're getting a lot of things misconstrued in the new era, in the new day of age in this music industry when it comes to production and beats, songs, producers versus beat makers. And me as a mega super producer that I know that I am, I'm getting really, really, bothered and agitated about what's going on in the world of sound and production and beats. I've been making beats. I've been around producers. I've been around the element of making songs for a long time now, almost 2 decades. And, coming from, let me tell you a little bit about the era that I come from. When I started in this industry when it was still 32.8 Mackies as the mixing board and ADATs as where the sound recording is getting recorded into. I come from that era, and I'm here. I'm here now when it's about Fruity Loops and Splice and all the easy fundamental things that are going on. Now, let me clarify something before I start and go on and talk my ish. I'm not hating on the new era. Like, I really understand it. I really get it. You know what I mean? I understand the easy beat fundamentals and the way that, it works and the way that, the beats are getting cut up right now. But I'm not interested and I'm not excited and I'm not blown away by the lack of knowledge that some of you beat makers, I should say, think that you possess and carry. There's a lot of lack, and let's talk about it. In this day of age, right now, if you became a producer, it's very easy because honestly, you can hop on a program like Splice or Fruity Loops or Logic, any of those workstations, and you can simply drag 1 to 2 sounds in to your audio workstation and you have a beat. Those particular, now what they're dragging in is they're dragging in preset loops. And you can just drag these loops in. You can find a loop at about like 90, your tempo of 90, 120, 130, whatever you prefer. And there'll be preset loops that are there. Now, I've noticed this even back in the day, but I didn't catch it. I went through this incident one time in school where there was a guy moving around saying that he made these beats and people in the school was blown away. And the real producers like me and my boys, shout out to the bank back in the day. This is that era I'm talking about. We were the real producers. We were ran and administrated by my boy De Niro, who is another mega super producer who I've got the chance and the honor to chaperone and watch him, do his thing in the early years, which has made me become a lot of who I am today. You know what I mean? Trying to stay loyal to real beat making and production, real real sounds off your fingers from the piano into the workstation. Real sounds that you're cutting up from the MPC 2000 back in the day when I was working on it, and you was cutting up these real sounds. You was grabbing a sound and you was making a real beat, which a lot of people do. And you know, they have business with some of these companies and they send their presets, loops and samples, and then, you know, non-innovative producers grab these, drag them in, and then they have a beat. And then they're fooling artists. They're fooling other producers. They're fooling the nation of music. Now, back to that story. Back in the day, there was a lot of this going on. But when I came in, I wasn't focused on, like, people around me wasn't dragging in loops and doing it like that. So, you know, I had to learn the hard way. But I was around crazy dope production, and that's why I have the abilities I have right now. Some of these beats that you're hearing in the background of giving them the game from today and previous episodes, these are Nazztravagant beats, by the way. For anybody who's looking for some superior mega production, holla at the kid. I got a lot of people under my belt too that make dope production. So I don't want some of my friends and some of my people and some of my family members thinking I'm coming at you on this podcast. I'm not. I'm just speaking my truth, because I, you know, in the world of music, I stay quiet a lot when I see a lot of people building their sounds and their songs or whatnot, because I truthfully appreciate the work that goes in. But we got to start from the production, and we got to talk about it, because some of the work that's coming in from this production is very fabricated, very simple, very non-innovative. Like, you're not working hard to produce a beat for some of the clients or some of the people that you're giving this material to. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, and I'm just jumping the gun here because this is a long subject. And again, when I get my platforms or when I have one-on-one conversations with some of you people about this, we can talk further. I've came into a lot of situations in the past 3 years where I'm getting in the studio. Well, let's talk about this situation first, then I'll talk about that. I've came across this program about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, called Splice. And I felt like, as a producer, I was like, yes, finally, it's easy for me. Finally, I found something that's gonna help me get my sound, out there, and I'm gonna have more sounds to play with. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I got lazy real quick after my almost like 17 years of producing hot material and really making real beats and songs. I started to get lazy with this Splice program, and I started to drag in loops. And I started to orchestrate, drums around it and, other sounds that would make it me, you know what I mean? But I started getting on Instagram, and I started hearing these cuts, sounding the same as the beat that I just did. Drums different, but still it's like, oh man, like other people are hearing this. I started hearing, other producer friends around me with the same sample cuts. I was like, oh man. I started hearing family members that produce also and make beats with the same cuts with different drum patterns. I was like, oh man, state of emergency. Like I started to realize right there and then about the whole production world and what it's came to. And I was bothered, I was agitated, and I was disappointed. And I was also more so disappointed in myself, because here I am with the abilities to create magical heat from the start point to the end point, and then get with the artist and still continue the process. And I started to get into this phase of just dragging the loops in and kind of making my job easier. But little do I know, less than 6 months down the line, everybody has these sounds. Now, I want to apologize to some of the artists that I've worked with, because some of you artists, yes, I've supplied you with some of these sample loops. And again, before I continue this, like, look, in the world of today, I know what the battle's going to be. I know what the young guys are going to say to me. I know what a lot of the other producers are going to say. They're going to say, whatever, you got to go and be more innovative with the way you using the sounds and da-da-da-da. I'm not hearing it. It's bullshit. It's all BS. It really is. What do you mean? Do you know where I come from? Do you know what type of beats I really make? I'm not talking about number one hits. Let's sit down in a place and let's go beat for beat. I have the beats that are not on Splice. I have the I possess right now the MPC X, and I'm cutting up serious material, and I'm still dragging in from Splice and I'm piecing these beats up together different again. I'm back in my element. Just wanted to clarify that, but I am sorry to some of the artists that I've, did this with, that I've given you the Splice sounds, and I know you've probably heard it in other people's arsenal or their collection of music. Coffee's good, but producer versus beat maker. Splice, you guys did an incredible thing, but you've also indented the music industry, and a lot of these new level producers and beat makers they're not innovating. And I don't hate on any program, Fruity Loops. I know Splice, you guys have your workstation. I know MPC, the one that I work on, I work off Logic, Pro Tools, a couple other things. I don't hate on none of the workstations. I'm just hating on the lack of innovation with the beats. I want to talk to you young producers about another thing. So-called producers, beat makers, whatever you call yourselves. Just because you can drag in a sample loop and some drums, or even create a drum pattern on Fruity Loops, it doesn't make you a songwriter and a producer. You don't know the notes of the song. You still don't understand pitch. And I'm not talking about melodyne. I'm talking about the natural ear. Now here's the difference. I'm confident enough to get into a studio session with the greatest artists in the world because of my abilities to play. A lot of you new level producers, there's people that you guys are just sending and emailing records to and beats to, and they're just taking the beat and they're just making songs off of. They're not really into the process of making music, great, beautiful music. They just grab the beat and they go and they toss it into their workstation and they start to record. That's cool. A nice jingle, a nice song will come out of that. But that versus really being an educated musician in the studio, not just on finding the hot sound and the hot sample, but how to coordinate, how to match off and balance off this artist to the recording of the beat that you're using. The note of the beat, does it match the artist? Another thing I want to get into, the drums, the 808s. Man, I could talk so much about this. I'm so educated. You can't just drag in an 808 to any loop you just brought in. You got to find the note to the 808. And part of knowing that and understanding that is understanding what I just said about pitch, melodies, notes, the arrangements. Do you know the and again, I'm going to ask you this, but you don't have to know it, because there's definitely producers out there that don't know the notes of the piano, but they still know the notes of the piano. Like me, I can't point to the note, the key of the note, but I can play it by ear. That's a gift. Some of you don't possess that gift. I promise you don't. And I've been silent. I've been in the studio. I've been hearing stuff. I've been hearing great work. I've been hearing great beats, minus the fact that now I have to double check and see if this is a sample in on Splice. Let's go to the artistry. Let's go to the artist. If I'm an artist and I'm trying to build a classic album, come on, please listen to me. If I'm an artist and I'm trying to build a classic album. I don't want beats that everyone has access to. I don't want my album to come out and I'm on Instagram or whatever social media platform is out when you hear this. I don't want everybody to hear my sound. I want a classic sound that's going to resonate, that when you hear that beat, it's mine. You made it, but it's mine. Maybe other artists are now going to start searching for that particular sound from you, but you're not going to go give them my sample, are you? Dinero, I hope you're hearing this, Dinero. I hope you're hearing this. All my producer friends, I hope y'all are listening in, because this is going to help you. Even if you don't give me the credit from where your production is going to go from here and on, you don't got to give me the credit, but I know that this is going to resonate in your hearts, and you're going to start getting back into the studio, and you're going to start revamping and rethinking sound, structure, and infrastructure. You feel me? What is it, like shoes now? Like, here's all the samples. Let's see who wore it better. Let's see who rapped it better. Let's see who sung. I don't want to be in that. Is that what the industry's turning into now? Because that's not going to justify original sound. That's not going to justify the hottest producer from the hottest producer. And I got to knock myself in the head with this too now, because I am a producer still in the ranks and the runnings, formulating We Extraordinary Music, Nazztravagant beats, making my money, making my rounds, giving my sound out, working with extraordinary artists. But I have to take this knowledge in too, because like I said earlier in this podcast, I got lazy. I was part of the shenanigans. Now, I'm not going to leave Splice. I'm not. You don't got to leave Splice either. You just got to spend some more time getting a little more innovative. Because some of the greatest producers that you guys look up to, they created these sounds that just taking and just giving away. That's not making you great. When you used to hear Dr. Dre, minus the fact of everything you heard about, oh, he don't even make beats no more. We'll get to that too. When you used to hear Dre in his prime, he was cutting up songs. He was playing, even if it was simple. Even if you don't know how to play the piano and you just get in there and do something simple, do you. Almost 90% of the sounds that I'm hearing is not you. It ain't. Don't call yourself a producer just because you can get in a studio with a mega artist and they deliver a hot song on this weakly composed beat that you gave them, and then you're manipulating the system with engineering skills. I'm talking producer versus beat maker. Are you really a hot producer, or are you just a beat maker? And if you're a beat maker, what's your swag on the beats? What do y'all do? What you do? You drag the sample in and create the drums on top. Okay, that's cool. That's what you do. That's straight. That's not a producer to me. That's a beat maker. That's a dope beat maker too, because like I said, I go on IG a lot. I'm in the world. I'm in the pool of the beat makers, and I see a lot of the shit going on. Zaytoven's one of the guys that I can give a lot of credit to. When I see his Instagram, I see him really playing and cutting. Some of you guys, you get on IG and you start fooling niggas, and y'all start being behind the boards and trying to make yourselves look big, and you're not cutting up shit. You know where I come from in the world of producing? Ask about me. Ask about Nazztravagant. Many have seen me play right in front of their eyes in a weary, deranged, crazy session. Many. I've been in many sessions with Sean. I don't see it. The old, young, arrogant Nazztravagant would have been in there bumping heads with y'all, showing y'all the ropes and showing you how to. But the new humble Nazztravagant, sometimes it's like, when I'm in the studio, I don't want to speak too much, because niggas are stealing knowledge, skill set, swag on the spot, acting like they ain't. It's like you could give a nigga one quick advice in the studio about this, and then they're gonna be like, oh, I know. But then they're gonna steal it right there and act like they knew, but they just grabbed that from you. Can't do it no more. Producing is real. It's spending time. It's getting in. There's so much stuff out there. There's so much programs and everything that it's not that hard to create an original sound. It's really not. And you can still manipulate. You can still take from these different places and these new things that's out there, but make a real beat. Make an original beat from scratch. I don't care about the song no more. I'm not like as a like on my exit out of this game, like straight up, I'm not about the bullshit. Like I gotta be real. I'm not like, yo, I love songs. I love songs. Like when I hear a great song, I heard a great song. But from where I come from, my culture, when I hear a great song, my brain, and I don't like doing this, it automatically goes to the beginning of the song. And now I'm like, it's like, I don't even want to say that. It's like now when I sit down, like I'm immediately thinking where this sound originated from. And I start asking questions to pinpoint. I'm not getting fooled by engineering either. I'm not intrigued by templates. I like to work from scratch. I'm not giving every artist the same template. I'm not. Is it even your template? I've given away a lot of templates of mine. People have stolen my templates throughout the years. People have probably stolen your templates. It doesn't make them innovative. Just because your sound is up to par with mine as far as quality doesn't make you a producer at my caliber. I come from the real era. Personally, I've come from people like Kanye, Pharrell, Dr. Dre, Polo the Don. Great producers that I've loved. Zaytoven again. Great producers. I can keep naming them. There's a lot. There's a lot of them that you probably wouldn't even know. But that's the world of producing. Don't take my word, the world of producing either. I already got something coming out for that. Please don't take my world of producing. Because I'm taking this one concept and I'm making it bigger. I already have something out there called the world of producing. Go on YouTube. I'm going to jump in and out of this quick. A lot of people talk crap. Like you youngins talk a lot of crap about some of the legendary producers. And, they don't make beats no more. They got like 4 or 5 people making beats for them. That's because they've gotten and risen to that level. The knowledge I know too, sometimes I'm not sitting in there just doing everything. I'll hire somebody to do the hi-hat. I'll hire somebody to mix the song. That makes me a producer. But I didn't skip steps. I didn't come in the game at this time when it's just a quick drag and drop. These are not transitions for a film. They're beats. The beat world is a large community of people that should be speaking about this too. Like we need to stop with the drag and the drops. Or we need to get a little more innovative. And I'm not talking about just by changing the pitch of the drag and the sample. See, I'm there with you guys. I'm not talking about just the changing the note. Play something. This is going to resonate and hit a lot of you niggas. I'm telling you, I know it because I got a lot of producer friends and I've been wanting to knock you niggas in the head and wake y'all niggas the F up because this is serious business. It really is. And for those of y'all who don't believe Nazztravagant and that I really cut up and that my shit's seriously hot, I don't even gotta prove to y'all with songs and nothing like that. But just go on Nazztravagant Beats, IG, and just see a couple of things I've cut up. And again, I'm copping out. I've dragged a couple of songs from Splice, but I've stopped it in the past year, and I've been digging in different places, and I've been bringing to the table original sounds. And I'm ready to explore too. I'm ready to take my production to another level because I don't even want to deal with some of the clowns no more. And some of you producers or beat makers, again, some of you beat makers, you got a lot of potential. You really do. But research. You skipped history in high school. It's time to know your history. It's time to know how niggas really played and how people really built these sounds. Y'all need to know about the era of workstations that I come from. Tritons, card Tritons, motifs. Yeah, real workstations. Records, dragging in records, sampling movies, sampling art, cutting up, playing cards and keys, taking a Triton sound and playing it out with 4 other sounds, putting a bass line, the hi-hat, the motions, the cymbals. Not someone else's cymbal. You can create your own cymbal. Are you guys feeling me? Do you understand? Producers versus beat makers. It's a real world out there. Get educated. When you step in the studio with Nazztravagant, straight up, you're stepping in the studio with a nigga like Dr. Dre or anybody on that caliber. I know my shit. Sometimes I stay quiet because you young niggas are know-it-alls now. It sucks. Even some of you older niggas are know-it-alls. That's why you ain't doing nothing. That's why you're not trusted. I'm not talking about your friends either, man. I'm talking about real music people. I'm talking about niggas that really know the game out here. Knowledge is power. Wisdom is key. Growth is where it's at, man. Growth. You're not there yet. I know you think you are. I know your shit sounds hot, but you're not there yet. You got a lot of moving to do. Sit with me. Let's go beat for beat. Let's put on Splice. Let's see. I want to see if it's yours. It ain't. I want my producers to get real live with this, man. Get in the studios and start creating real heat, man. We're going to keep broadening this. We're going to make this concept more broad. We're going to talk about this more. I'm telling you, this is just giving them the game. 12 webisodes, just 12. But I'm going to continue these because I'm going to speak. Soon I'm going to redo this concept with a couple of producers next to me. And I'm going to pick their brains. And we're going to war about this same topic. I want y'all to get knowledge, man. I really do. I want you to be the guy that sits in the studio and knows it all, but's humble. That you can bring real elements to the table. Not a drag and drop. You're not going to sit in the studio with Dr. Dre and drag a loop in. And you're not going to sit with me and tell me that that's your shit either. This is giving them the game. Beat maker versus producer. Or producer versus beat maker, I should say. We're living in a different time now. Everything is changing, I get it. But is everything really changing? Or are niggas just getting lazy? This is the world of sound. This is music. Music always starts from the sound. Minus the fact that some singers or rappers or whatnot can just do an acapella. But originally, song-wise, in the world of the music that we live in, it starts right from the car of the beat. Let's take it a little more serious. Seriously, take it a little more serious. You can be that producer. And again, I respect you if you're just that beat maker. But please, my people, know the difference. You gotta know the difference. And you're not gonna get there overnight by watching one tutorial and stealing somebody's template. You're not gonna get there overnight by sitting in one studio session with a great like me and stealing all my tactics and thinking it's yours. Didn't skip the steps, went through the motions, learned a lot, still learning a lot right now. The world of sound is big. Just because you're in Fruity Loops or wherever you're at, it doesn't mean you know it all. Beat maker versus producer. Y'all already know who it is. I am Nazztravagant.
Fame, wanna build your fan base, trying to make a name. It's not easy, man, this game is no joke. I done been through it all, I can show you the ropes. Time to put the pieces to the puzzle, show you how to shift, how to move, how to hustle. Man, don't you know who I am? I'm holding all the keys, I'm giving them the game. You gotta watch for the snakes too, they gon' try you, don't let them break you. You got potential, you just need a breakthrough. That's why I'm giving them the game. I know, give it a click. I'm giving them the game. I know, and Nazztravagant's the name.